Welcome to Black History Month once again, and in quotes, Black History Truths. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get myself fixed together. It's a bit slightly cold and it's slightly cold today. So yes, anyway. So I'm hoping today that you'll get another great experience of finding out new things of our Black people's history and Black people's history that will, certain names that you thought might have been white, they are actually Black. And sorry, I hope that you have a really great experience today from what I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to talk about Russia today. I might throw in a few other stuff, but today I just want to talk about Russia. So as you can see on the screen, it says Black people ruled in Russia in the Dark Ages. And the Dark Ages was up until 1453, I think it was. So in the 1500s, by the 1600s, after they had King James the First of England and Wales and I think they said Ireland, and King James, the same King James, same King James of James the Sixth of Scotland. Soon after he had died, not long after that, then everything started to go downhill. The Blacks were actually, I'm not sure what happened to the royals, but I know that I was reading a book, and I must try and get all these books that I'm reading on, that you can actually go and purchase them or look at them, read them, borrow them from somewhere and have a read through them, that they had enslaved them and taken them to the America. It wasn't called America then, obviously, New England or something like that. And when they went, there was a list, I must find it and then put it up, because there's a list of, and it does say there were noble character or something, but brown, then they would say swarthy. So let us go into this. I will read about swarthy because white people, not say per se white people, but the white skinned people at the time, not at that time. What I mean is that the word swathi, a lot of white people will tell you that it means the darker skinned white people. But the word swathi in those days were actually belonging to Black people. They didn't call them Black, it was swathi, okay? And they might have that brown. And sometimes when you hear the name Moore, that Moore now today, but More then, or other ways Moor, they were mostly Black people. That's what they used it for, to put, so you'd identify them. Maybe, I don't know if that's what they were doing, but you'd know that the name Moore was actually Black person, and also brown, and lots of other names, but most of them, when they gave the colors that were nearest to brown, black, black skin colored people, you would have the name Moore. Or that's why I think that the gentleman called Thomas More, I think he was probably Black. So there's a famous, I think it was a scientist. I noticed that when I read that there was a Black group put together with just only Blacks could enter into the group in America. I think it was in the 1940s, 50s, something like that. Probably a little bit earlier, could be. And this famous individual, I won't say it now because I still got to go and check it, but I mean, you could only be in that group if you were Black, and he was in there. His name came up, and he had, even on a picture, he put that he belongs to this group. So I have a really strange feeling that there are lots of people that are well known and because some things it seems to be sort of hard to believe, and but fortunately for us, it's actually true. So anyway, here we are. I'm hoping that you've read through some of what I've got in front. It says Swafi Europe, and it just talks about where are we? Actually, that was not the one that I wanted to put there. It was actually, that was, oh, I mean, you could read it. I'm sure you could see what it's saying. Dealing with especially dark were Jews of Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark. Yes, this is somebody who's written, an author, says Pritchard. The Duchess de Abrantes, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. So dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought all Jews were black or dark. Isn't that interesting? And I can kind of see with that, because when I was doing my degree and I had to do some statistics, and like you're monitoring what people answered your questionnaire that you wrote. When I went to look up information on Jews, it said non-white. And that's what got me thinking, what are we talking about? So I think they weren't called Jews. I mean, because you've got the European Jews, which are they're called Jews. And I believe the reason why they were called Jews is because of something to do with Jewry. So that's where that name might have come from. And I think also I read where they said that the Jews were called Jews because of something to do with Judea, something to do with Judea, something like that. And it was the Romans that first called them Jews. So the black people really were more Israelites, possibly Hebrews, because they spoke Hebrew. But if you look at the Jews, I think in Israel now, they've got Yiddish, and Yiddish is actually a Germanic language. So, I mean, there's Hebrew, but the Yiddish part of it is Germanic. Okay, so what does Swafi mean? Quickly. I'll just see if I can quickly get it up for you. Right, here it is. Right, I hope you can see that. And also they called some of us tawny, and that was more like, and they used to represent in the Roman Empire at one point, they used to say tawny, and they meant black people were like really come under the heading of Indian. So that's another interesting thing. So you can see here it says Swafi, being of dark hue or dusky complexion, tawny, this says tawny here anyway, in warm climates, the complexion of men is universally swampy or black. Well, don't know what yeah. So the more Spaniards and Italians are more swampy than the French, Germans, and English. Their swampy hosts would darken all our plains. Oh, we'll get a bit cheeky there. But anyway, so yeah. So, but most times it would because the word, if you see tawny, look at this. I show you. That's the color of tawny. And that's not white. Yeah. That's saying it's brown, they're brown. So you had some people were brown, some people were darker and dark brown and real dark, but they basically were darker people. They weren't light or white. So, but I know that some people would use the word swafi as saying the white person was as a dusty look and they were dark, but white is just white, and dark is dark. If you're going under the sun, you're going to be not white skinned. Yeah, you're really going to be a bit darker. So, but they used it really mostly for dark skinned people. Right, let's get back to this Russia. Okay, here we are. So black people ruled in Russia in the Dark Ages. Okay. Here we are. The Tsar Ivan IV, the Terrible, and I'm sure you heard about him. He he was around the time, 1530 to 1584, and I always heard about the Ivan the Terrible. So I'm wondering if you have, but yeah, he was black. He was definitely black. I'm just going to put this on the bigger screen so we can cloud everything else. Oh, wow. Sorry about that. Hold on for a second. Just so I'm back again. So that's Ivan the Terrible, and he was black. Then we've got Theodore the First of Russia, aka Theodore the First Ivanovich. So you can tell that's a Russian name. Can't really, trying to see if I can read some of this. It was quite faint, so it was quite hard to sort of but yeah, so go and have a look at this individual. Maybe Wikipedia might tell you something about him, but obviously you might find his face a bit more whitewashed, but at least you know that he's black, and look him up. It's very nice to know about your history, that there's a lot of royal family in Europe at the time, in the Dark Ages, even before the Dark Ages, and they were in Russia. And here we've got Tsar Peter I, the Great of Russia. Isn't that interesting? He was black too. Okay, so you got King Boris. Okay, what I did was I thought I'd have put somebody else in, because there is Bulgaria. There, I think, as I can remember, they were all over Europe, but as I said, this one's Bulgaria, and he was King Boris I of Bulgaria. They said also known as Boris Mihail or Michael, and oh goodness. Also, I wanted to say that whenever you've got the Byzantine Empire, that also consisted of a lot of black people and nobles and royals, and mostly really black. And people would like to tell you something else. I used to think it was to do with Greece, but it wasn't. There were black people also in the Byzantine Empire, and this one is saying he died in 907 AD. Was the Khanzar pronounce that word, Prince of First Bulgarian Empire in 852 to 889, sorry, and at the time of his baptism in 864, Boris was named Michael. Oh, okay, that's why where he got the name Michael, after his godfather, Byzantine Emperor Michael III. And I should imagine, as I said, the emperor would be black as well, because the Byzantine empire was consisted of lots of black people. And here we have Stefanita, so Stephanie Vanna. Oh, interesting name. Yakovlev. And she was the daughter of, so hard to sort of view. So, but I would find it very difficult to just even pick it up. She's the daughter of, it says son, I think it says son of the fifth of, Yakovlev. That laugh. I'm having laugh myself. Right, Petersburg in Russia. Anyway, that's how I tried, because I had to try and get her name from this. So you could look her up. She was also royalty as well. And let's see. Okay, so we'll stop there. And all the names I've given you today, please do look them up. Yeah, and hopefully when COVID has subsided, you could go on holiday to Europe, and Europe is not going to hide anything. You will see it. So exactly what I've been saying, that at a certain period and era in Europe and, you know, all around the world, Black people did reign, and we were not just slaves, servants. We actually had a lot of royalty, noblemen, you know, and so let us embrace that. And you know, I'm so happy and really pleased to be able to see this and to know this. And yeah, I've got so much more. So I hope you enjoyed even looking at that, and drop the names down and go and do your own research. And don't forget to press the notification button, to subscribe, and because I've got so much more. And as I said to you, at the end of the 31 days of the Black History Month, we'll be doing a week series, and it'll be on every Friday at 7:30. Yeah, every Friday after the 31st of October, you'll see we'll be doing the series, and it'll be on IAU TV. And yes, click the like button, give us a thumbs up. Thank you. See you next time.